Picture this. February 27, 2016. The Oklahoma City Thunder are up against the Golden State Warriors in a Saturday night primetime showdown. The Chesapeake Energy Arena is alive, fans are screaming, and two of the league's biggest stars, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, are trying to defend their home court. Overtime. Tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. The Warriors have the ball. Steph Curry brings it up slowly, casually, as if the weight of the moment doesn't exist. He crosses half court with just a few seconds left. The defense backs up slightly, thinking he'll drive closer. But instead, without hesitation, he launches from 38 feet near the logo. The crowd gasps, the ball arcs through the air, and bang, nothing but net. Game over. Warriors win. That shot didn't just end a regular season thriller. It rewrote the rules of basketball. It made coaches, players, and fans alike rethink what was possible on the court. But here's what most people don't know. That moment was years in the making. It was the culmination of a career spent being underestimated, a revolutionary offensive system, and one man's belief that the game could be played differently. Tonight, we're telling the full story of how Steph Curry changed the game of basketball forever through that one unforgettable night and the historic season surrounding it. We'll explore the backstory, the rivalries, the physics of that impossible shot, and how it created a ripple effect that's still transforming the NBA today. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll see why Curry's 2016 season wasn't just great. It was a turning point in NBA history. Before we dive into the story, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and join me as we relive some of the greatest moments in NBA history. And drop a comment below. Where were you when Curry hit that shot? Were you watching live, or did you see the replay that broke the internet? Alright, let's go back to where this story really begins. To understand what made 2016 so special, you have to understand Stephen Curry's journey. Because this wasn't a story that started with dominance, it started with doubt. Growing up in Charlotte, North Carolina, Steph was the son of Del Curry, a longtime NBA sharpshooter. Basketball was in his blood. He spent his childhood sitting courtside at Charlotte Hornets games, studying the game, practicing his shot in empty arenas while his dad played. But when it came time for college recruitment, the big schools passed on him. He was too small, they said, too skinny, too slow. Duke, his dream school, didn't even offer him a scholarship. Virginia Tech wanted him to walk on. North Carolina didn't think he could handle the ACC, so Steph went to Davidson College, a tiny school with about 2,000 students. And there, he became a legend. His sophomore year, he led Davidson to the Elite Eight, dropping 40 points on Gonzaga, 30 on Georgetown, and making the entire nation learn his name. He was shooting from distances that made commentators laugh nervously. That's too far, they'd say, and then he'd make it. But even after 3 dominant years at Davidson, NBA scouts were skeptical. At the 2009 draft, teams passed on him repeatedly. The Timberwolves took 2 point guards before him. The Knicks, desperate for a star, chose Jordan Hill instead. Finally, at pick number 7, the Golden State Warriors, a franchise that hadn't won anything in decades, took a chance on Steph Curry. And for his first few years, the doubts seemed justified. Ankle injuries plagued him. He missed significant time in 3 straight seasons. People whispered that he was too fragile for the NBA grind. The Warriors offered him a 4-year, $44 million contract extension in 2012, and some called it an overpay for an injury-prone player. Steph had something to prove, and in 2013, Mark Jackson installed an offense that played to his strengths: pick and rolls, transition threes, and the freedom to shoot from anywhere. Curry stayed healthy, made the All-Star team, and averaged 24 points per game. But the real transformation came in 2014 when Steve Kerr took over as head coach. Kerr saw what Steph could be, not just a good shooter, but a revolutionary force. He built an entire offense around Curry's gravity, the way defenses had to overcommit to him, creating opportunities for everyone else. Off-ball screens, constant motion, and a green light to shoot from anywhere. The 2014-15 season was Steph's coming-out party. He won his first MVP. The Warriors won their first championship in 40 years. And suddenly, the undersized kid from Davidson was the face of basketball's new era. The 2015-16 season began with a statement. Opening night against the Pelicans, Curry dropped 40 points in just 3 quarters. He made pull-up threes in transition, step backs from 30 feet, and even added 8 rebounds and 8 assists. The crowd at Oracle Arena went absolutely wild with every shot. 2 games later, he returned to New Orleans and scored 53 points. The Pelicans tried everything: traps, switches, box and one defenses. Nothing worked. Steph was pulling up from distances that made defenders look helpless. But it wasn't just about the points. It was about how he was scoring them. Traditional basketball wisdom said you had to work the ball inside out, get close-range shots, draw fouls, attack the rim. Curry flipped that completely. He'd race down the court in transition and pull up from 30 feet before the defense even had time to set up. He'd come off screens and shoot immediately. immediately, giving defenders no time to contest. He made the long-range three-pointer as reliable as a layup. And the Warriors? They were unstoppable. They started the season 24-0, the best start in NBA history. Night after night, they dismantled opponents. The Rockets lost by 30. The Lakers lost by 24. The Clippers, who were supposed to compete with them, got blown out twice. Every game felt like a show. Curry would do something impossible, a behind-the-back dribble into a 35-footer, or a floater over two defenders, and the crowd would erupt. Even opposing fans started arriving early just to watch him warm up, because his pre-game shooting displays were legendary in themselves. By mid-season, Curry was averaging 30 points per game while shooting over 50% from the field and 45% from three. He was making shots that broke the ESPN shot chart. The graphics team literally had to redesign their shot charts to accommodate how far away Curry was shooting from. He wasn't just a great shooter, he was warping the geometry of the game. Defenders had to guard him 30 to 35 feet away from the rim, opening up lanes for Klay Thompson's cuts, Draymond Green's playmaking, and easy baskets for role players like Harrison Barnes and Andre Iguodala. Basketball analysts started calling it Curry gravity. When he was on the court, the entire defense would shift toward him, even when he didn't have the ball. They studied the data and found that Curry's mere presence on the floor made every Warriors possession 10 to 15% more efficient. The Warriors weren't just winning games, they were breaking opponents' spirits. Teams would come in with game plans to stop Curry, and he'd pass out of double teams to wide-open teammates. They'd play him straight up, and he'd score 40. By the All-Star break, the Warriors were 48-4, on pace to break the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls record of 72-10. Curry was leading the league in scoring, was first in player efficiency rating, and was making it look easy. On February 27, 2016, the Warriors rolled into Oklahoma City at 52-5, winners of 11 straight games. The Thunder, meanwhile, were 42-17 and sitting comfortably in third place in the West. This was a playoff preview, and everyone knew it. The storylines were endless. Curry versus Westbrook, the smooth shooter versus the explosive athlete. Durant trying to prove OKC could still be a contender. The Warriors chasing history while the Thunder tried to prove they were the roadblock. The Chesapeake Energy Arena was absolutely electric. Thunder fans arrived hours early, wearing their orange and blue, convinced this would be the night their team made a statement. The pre-game introductions were deafening. From the opening tip, it was chaos. Russell Westbrook came out in attack mode, driving to the rim with reckless abandon. On the first possession, he blew past Curry and threw down a vicious dunk. The crowd exploded. Westbrook stared down the Warriors bench, letting them know this was his house. But Curry answered immediately, pulling up from 28 feet and drilling a three, then another. Within the first 3 minutes, he had 9 points, and the game was tied. Kevin Durant was in peak form. He hit a turnaround jumper over Draymond Green, then a three from the wing, then another mid-range shot. By the end of the first quarter, Durant had 12 points, and the Thunder led 32-28. The game became a track meet. Both teams were playing at breakneck pace, pushing the ball in transition, attacking relentlessly. Klay Thompson got hot in the second quarter, hitting 3 straight threes. Westbrook responded with a thunderous alley-oop from Durant. Serge Ibaka was swatting shots at the rim. At halftime, the score was tied at 62. The third quarter was a war. Every possession mattered. Every shot was contested. Steven Adams was battling in the paint against Andrew Bogut. Draymond Green was talking trash to everyone in a Thunder jersey. The referees were letting them play physical, and bodies were hitting the floor on every drive. Curry kept the Warriors in it with his usual magic. A step-back three over Andre Roberson, a floater over Ibaka, a drive-and kick to Harrison Barnes for a corner three. But the Thunder wouldn't go away. With 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Thunder were up 103-99. Russell Westbrook had 27 points. Kevin Durant had 30. The crowd was on their feet, sensing a massive victory. Then the Warriors made their run. Klay Thompson hit a contested three from the corner. Curry drove baseline and drew a foul on Durant, his 5th foul. Suddenly, with 2:45 left, the game was tied at 108. The tension in the arena was suffocating. Every possession felt like it carried the weight of the season. The Thunder executed a beautiful play. Westbrook drove, kicked to Durant, who swung it to Dion Waiters for a three. Splash. Thunder up 3. Curry brought it back up, danced around a screen, and pulled up from 30 feet. Good. Tied again. Under a minute left, Durant tried to take over. He drove to the rim, but Andre Iguodala, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, stayed with him. Durant forced a shot, missed, scrambled for the rebound. Loose ball. Westbrook grabbed it and got fouled. He made one of 2 free throws. Thunder up 1 with 32 seconds left. Curry got the ball, isolated against Westbrook at the top of the key. He sized him up, stepped back, and rose up. The shot rattled in and out. Heartbreak for Warriors fans. But Draymond Green grabbed the offensive rebound and got fouled. He made one of 2. Tied at 113 with 13 seconds left. The Thunder had a chance to win win it. Westbrook brought the ball up, attacked, and got to the rim, but missed a contested layup. The ball bounced around. Offensive rebound by Enes Kanter. He put it back up, blocked by Draymond. Overtime. The crowd was losing their minds. This game had everything: star power, clutch shots, physical defense, and drama on every possession. In overtime, both teams traded baskets. Curry hit a three. Durant answered with a jumper. Westbrook attacked the rim and scored. Klay hit a pull-up jumper. But then, disaster for the Thunder. With 3 minutes left in overtime, Kevin Durant went for a steal and got his 6th foul. He fouled out. The Thunder's best player was done for the night. The Warriors smelled blood. Without Durant, they pushed the pace. Curry got into the lane and scored. Then Klay hit another three. Suddenly, with a minute left, the game was tied at 118. The Thunder had one timeout left. Billy Donovan, their coach, called it with 52 seconds remaining. He drew up a play for Westbrook. The MVP candidate brought the ball up, attacked, and scored to put the Thunder up 2. Warriors ball. 37 seconds left. Down 2. Curry isolated at the top of the key, drove left, and scored over Westbrook. Tied again at 120. Thunder ball. 19 seconds left. Westbrook tried to attack but traveled. Turnover. Warriors ball. Steve Kerr called timeout with 13.5 seconds left. He drew up a play: get the ball to Curry or Klay for a final shot. This was it. One possession to win the game. But what happened next? Nobody, not the coaches, not the players, not the 18,203 fans in attendance, could have predicted. 4.7 seconds left. Tied at 120. The Warriors inbound the ball to Andre Iguodala on the right side. The Thunder scrambled defensively, trying to deny any easy looks. Iguodala passes to Curry near half court. Now, in this moment, basketball logic says you attack the rim. You try to draw a foul. You get as close as possible to the basket to maximize your chances. With 4.7 seconds, you have time to penetrate, create a play, maybe kick it out if you get double. Stephen Curry saw something different. He dribbles up slowly, crossing half court with 3 seconds left. The defense backs up slightly, expecting him to drive. But Curry notices that Andre Roberson, his defender, is giving him just a little bit of space. Just a foot or two, enough room to get a shot off. So, from 38 feet away, standing on the logo at center court, Stephen Curry rises up and launches the basketball. The entire arena holds its breath. The ball spins through the air in a perfect arc. Thunder fans pray for a miss. Warriors fans stand frozen, hoping against hope. Mike Breen's voice rises. Curry, from way downtown. The ball drops clean through the net. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry. The Warriors bench explodes. Curry sprints toward the tunnel, pounding his chest, screaming at the crowd. His teammates chase after him in disbelief. Even Steve Kerr puts his hands on his head, unable to comprehend what just happened. On the Thunder sideline, there's only shock. Westbrook stares at the scoreboard. Billy Donovan stands motionless. The fans sit in stunned silence. Final score: Warriors 121, Thunder 118. Curry finished the night with 46 points, 12 made three-pointers, tying the NBA record at the time, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. He shot 14 of 24 from the field and 12 of 16 from three-point range. But the stats don't tell the story. The story was that shot, the audacity, the confidence, the sheer impossibility of it. In the post-game interview, still catching his breath, Curry said simply, "I saw space, and I let it fly." The internet exploded. Within minutes, the clip had millions of views. Social media was on fire. LeBron James tweeted a series of shocked emojis. Kobe Bryant texted Curry, simply saying, "Cold-blooded." Former players were stunned. Reggie Miller, one of the greatest shooters in NBA history, said on air, "I've never seen anything like that. Not in a regular season game with that much on the line." But here's what made it even more remarkable. Curry made it look easy. There was no hesitation, no doubt. He pulled up from 38 feet like it was a free throw. Let's talk about the physics of that shot for a moment. From 38 feet, the margin for error is microscopic. The ball has to launch at the perfect angle. Too flat and it hits the front rim. Too high and it airballs. The rotation has to be perfect. Too much spin and it bounces out. Too little and it wobbles. The power has to be exact. Too soft and it falls short. Too hard and it clangs off the back iron. Now here's the thing. Curry had already been hitting deep threes all season. By that point in February, he'd made dozens of shots from 30+ feet. But this one was different. This wasn't the first quarter of a blowout. This wasn't garbage time. This was a primetime Saturday night game on national TV against Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, 2 MVP winners, in front of one of the loudest crowds in the league, in overtime of a game between the 2 best teams in the West. And he pulled up casually from the logo, with the game on the line, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. It was audacity, confidence, skill, and it left defenders helpless. The very next day, basketball changed. Kids in gyms across America were trying to pull up from half court. Middle school coaches were shaking their heads saying, "No, you can't shoot from there." And the kids would respond, "But Steph does it." Youth coaches started reporting that their biggest challenge wasn't teaching kids to shoot. It was teaching them not to shoot from too far away. Kids wanted to be like Steph, and Steph shot from the parking lot. NBA defenses knew they had to start guarding 35 feet from the basket. Defensive coordinators were in panic mode. How do you guard someone who can score from anywhere past half court? If you pressure him that far out, he'll blow by you. If you sag off, he'll shoot. If you double team him, someone else is wide open. It wasn't just the shot itself, it was what the shot represented. For decades, basketball had been played a certain way. Post players dominated. Centers were the most important position. You needed size and physicality to win championships. The three-pointer was a specialty weapon, not a primary option. Curry's shot from the logo said, "All those rules are outdated. The game can be played differently, and this is the new standard." Analytics departments across the league had been pushing for more three-point attempts for years. They'd run the numbers. A 35% three-point shooter produces 1.05 points per shot. A 50% two-point shooter produces 1.00 points per shot. The math said shoot more threes. But most teams were still hesitant. Old-school coaches didn't trust it. Players felt uncomfortable. Then Curry hit that shot, and suddenly, the revolution wasn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It was about watchable, exciting, winning basketball. Teams started restructuring their offenses. The Houston Rockets went all in on the three-pointer. The Milwaukee Bucks built their system around creating threes and layups, avoiding mid-range shots entirely. Even traditional big-man teams like the Lakers started emphasizing spacing and shooting. Within 3 years, the average NBA team was attempting 29 three-pointers per game, compared to 20 per game before Curry's rise. By 2023, teams were averaging 35 three-point attempts per game. The entire sport had been reshaped. So, was it the greatest regular season shot in NBA history? Many say yes, not just because it won an important game, but because of what it represented. It represented the death of the old basketball and the birth of the new. It represented a player who'd been doubted his entire life, proving everyone wrong. It represented the audacity to try something nobody else would even attempt. That night, Steph Curry didn't just beat the Thunder. He rewrote basketball history. He showed that greatness doesn't always need to be flashy dunks or towering blocks. Sometimes, greatness is about vision, about daring to redefine what's possible. Nearly a decade later, we're still living in Steph Curry's world. Every time you see a player pull up from 30 feet, every time a team launches 40 three-pointers in a game, every time a kid practices from half court, that's Curry's legacy. And it all goes back to one moment, one impossible shot, one game that changed everything. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more legendary NBA breakdowns. And don't forget to comment, what's your favorite Curry moment ever? The OKC game win, the unanimous MVP season, or another time entirely? Let me know in the comments below. This was the night Stephen Curry changed basketball forever, and the story is still being written every time he pulls up from the logo. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.